We're here for the final afternoon of racing for the 2024 season of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series. Yes, we've completed 5 rounds. It's the 6th and final one, and championships still to be decided in these final 4 hours of racing. But next to us is the silverware, of course, for the TFH Hire TA2 muscle car framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing. It's their championship decider, and Josh Haynes, well, he's just extended that lead a little bit, and he doesn't have to do too much more to clinch this championship for the first time ever.
Yeah, very exciting for him. Of course, they've had a great year, and you know, Brad Gardner's done it to the last minute, but it might be slowly slipping away.
Mark Crutcher is doing an absolute masterclass, which is the class he's currently winning as well. The number 4 wasn't a great start this morning, of course. Well, let's check out some of our highlights, though, of the race. Let's have a look at the Hi-Tec Oils highlights, and it was the start. We didn't know what was going on with Brad Gardner because he just vanished into the distance. He'd become a background number, but this is what happened on lap 1. Aaron Prosser went wide there as they came out of 4, managed to come across, clipped Danny Reedy in the rear right-hand side. Robbie Farr just nudged him with a bit of contact. Brad Gardner, who'd fallen back, managed to go all the way around the outside. He was almost up on the banking of the dirt there to make it through in the 22, and we saw how much he shoveled the dirt out and over the front windscreen. Michael Coulter avoided it. Lots more down there in the pack. Nick Bates avoided it as well. But here you go, Robbie Farr. He watches Danny Reedy. He's already evasive there as he turns to the left, and he almost pulls the car up and slides in the dirt. A slight tap there just at the end. Unfortunately, you can see that front left-hand damage that was sustained on the crossing car.
So off the restart, it looked like Gardner had another issue with trying to get the gear selection off the restart. So he sort of came back to play in the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. And this is where best race on the racetrack. Absolutely Crutcher trying to hold on for grim life. And Hayden Jackson was looking pretty racy as well. Gardner, man, he tried just about every line that never existed. Got a clean run up here up the inside of Jackson, but couldn't actually clear him. And Jackson lived and stayed there. It actually held on to the position. And again, I just thought that was a really, really cool exchange. Crutcher got a little bit of a gap out in front, and Brad Gardner's gone, okay, I need to send this, I need to send it down. And that's pretty much what he did, and just launched it down the inside into 1, cleared that one, but Jackson stayed with him, and they both caught back up to Crutcher again.
Yeah, they worked together that time, and very hard when you go offline there with the marble happening here this afternoon. You saw how close Brad Gardner got to Crutcher, and for a moment he pushed really hard, but look how loose Brad Gardner got out when he went off the racing line. And Mark Crutcher just stayed on it, did what he needed to do, managed to just get the number 4 Mustang back in front as they negotiated these turns. And then Brad Gardner super aggressive over the curves, which really brought him undone in the end. Hayden Jackson took full advantage of that as Brad Gardner went wide in the final moments. Josh Haynes in the 37 Herzog Steel entry, managing to take the checkered flag in P1 at the moment, followed by Sam Bates and Zach Lachaupo. Now the cylinders are firing. Let's check out a hot lap around here at One Raceway in one of these fantastic cars.
G'day guys, Hayden Jackson here, giving you a lap around One Raceway. Coming onto the main straight here, plucking 3rd gear, coming across the start-finish line into 4th gear, sweeping across into turn 1, on the brakes at the kink, back down to 3rd gear, breezing the apex here, starting to pick up the throttle slowly. As we hit this 2nd apex, you're hard back on the throttle, watch the slide. Coming into turn 4 here, back on the picks, over the curve, back down to 2nd, breezing on the throttle on the exit of turn 5 here, and then down to 6, slight touch of the brake, hard on the throttle now, going through turn 7, sort of breezing on that brake, hard on the throttle again through 8, hard on the picks into 9, watch out for that inside locking, slow sweeper here, it's a gradual throttle on, and then as you're coming up here, you're getting ready for turn 10, it's just a tab of the brake and then hitting that curb, hard on the throttle, on the apex and on the outside, and then sweep across to the right for turn 11. Watch that slide, going through the newly revised turn 12 and 13, waiting for that long apex, hard on the throttle now, smash the curb on the exit, and that's a lap of One Raceway.
Well, Hayden Jackson, he's done a lot of driver training and he's passed up there at Newcastle as well, and he's taught a lot of young guys how to get behind the wheel, and just taking us for a lap here of the revamped One Raceway, which is slightly different to the Wakefield Park layout. But here we go, your starting grid for race number 2 of the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Car Series. Framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing, and Josh Haynes dominant yesterday, and big news as Brad Gardner had a shocking start.
Yeah, they've replaced the clutch overnight, so Gardner will come out of position 6. Sam Bates out of 2, fantastic drive. Likewise, Zach Lascialpo out of position 3. And obviously with that incident in turn number 1, we've got a couple of them starting a little bit further back, notably Danny Reedy and Aaron Prosser. I know Prosser's been out this morning for a discretionary check with the car just to make sure everything's all right. I didn't see if Danny Reedy had gone out or not, because that car actually sustained a bit of chassis damage, which they got repaired overnight. A lot of body damage and that. There was actually quite a bit going on with the Reedy machine. Left front corner replacement effectively for the Prosser car with the contact left front corner to right front with Reedy's thing.
So yeah, there's lots of damage to that one lap incident, which brought out the safety car as well. Let's have a look at what they're all fighting for this weekend in the championship. The TA2 Muscle Car Championship all comes down to the 6th and final round. 3 drivers are in contention of taking it out and raising the championship trophy. Who will leave the final round with the championship ring and become the 2024 TA2 Muscle Car Champion? Well, there's the 3 faces that can take away the championship this weekend. Graham Cheney, unfortunately, in the fight, but not here as he's supporting his son up on the Gold Coast in the... Now, can Sammy Bates, who's only been behind the wheel a couple of times now, one of those was Adelaide, where unfortunately didn't get a lot of time behind the wheel, some damage on the car. Can he outshine Josh Haynes, the man of steel, who's fighting for a championship at the moment? Look at Mark Crutcher in the background. He is ready to go alongside Zach Lascialpo. That one's going to be a fantastic battle. Hayden Jackson, though, alongside Brad Gardner, and we saw them exchange, well, almost some panel work yesterday as they fought out for position as well. So this one's going to be a fantastic start here. The war is underway at One Raceway. Let's have a look at how they go into turn number 1, far at the rear of the field, but let's have a look further up. Josh Haynes gets a Herzog Steel Mustang into P1. Brad Gardner is wide on the outside, contact with Farr, and Hayden Jackson, who seems to have a little bit of a slow start there at the moment. That was just a little bit of touch and go at the moment. Oh,
the
Lascialpo spinning.
The Lascialpo's gone around. I was just about to say, can we get through the first 3 or 4 corners unscathed? And no. So the Lascialpo's gone around. That was actually really, really busy. Gardner had gone to the outside at 2. He was actually off track. Farr got into the back of Jackson.
Well, now I think that's Aaron Prosser in front of him, is it? So is the yellow's going to come out? Can Lascialpo get that going? If that was Mark Crutcher, he'd be on the radio right now trying to restart that car.
He had a spin in practice on Friday across the track out of the last corner and was trying to get the car restarted until he figured out he was actually hitting the radio button. Yeah, not ideal.
Have a look at Gardner, though. Super aggressive, already up into 3rd, and he is alongside Sam Bates. And how much will Bates push this? Gardner out on the dirt once again. He's used to being there. Look what it shows up on the screen. Well, he's flicking a lot of dirt over the track yesterday, so he won't be enjoying being out there in that dirt at the moment. And look at the 22 now. Can he keep the tyres under this car, though? They've got 15 laps to try and maintain this pace. Josh Haynes now with a 1.4 second lead. Lascialpo is still stuck there in the Tempest Solutions 21, and what will race control do about that?
Yeah, I thought he'd actually got the thing back up and running. So Haynes out in front, and the battle we've been looking forward to all weekend potentially can happen here. My understanding is Haynes finishes this race, it should be enough points with 2 more races to go to claim the championship.
Oh, well, I'm going to go here with the points I've got on. We've got 114 points difference between him and Brad Gardner. 60 points around. He's got to catch up 120. It's going to be tough. Here we go. Replay of what just happened there. Oh, Crutcher and Lascialpo just make wheel-to-wheel contact there. Lascialpo, unfortunately, spins out.
That was just awkward more than anything, because it was pretty much side by side, whether they've maybe locked wheels, because there wasn't sort of too much deviation going in there. Just see if there's any damage down the right-hand side of Crutcher's car. So Jackson sort of recovering after that early little bit of contact from behind from Robbie Farr. Haynes, Gardner, Bates, Crutcher, Jackson, Prosser. Prosser from the rear of the field up into the 6th position as that's Gardner on Sam Bates.
Oh, no, that's going to be the 24. Oh, yeah, no, it is Sam Bates. So Sam Bates must have fought back there at some point to get past.
Oh, Crutcher's off. Crutcher is off in the 4 out of the 4th position. Man, this is all going on.
Oh, it's plenty of work there. And look to the dirt, though. This is what they're not sure about this when they come around a corner, and a lot of that dirt and dust we saw coming across the track yesterday in other categories really caught the drivers unaware as they came around for the following lap. So it's going to get a little bit slippery out there if they're going to push the limits at the moment. Let's see how Sam Bates goes, because he has been super quick on a solo run. Now, he's in race pace. Yesterday it was probably, he had Josh Haynes open up a gap in front of him. He sort of had Zach Lochalpo covered as well. So he ran around on his own yesterday, got very familiarised with the track and what the car wants to do, but now he's got Brad Gardner, who's just made the move past him. And what can he do with the 22? Because if Brad Gardner keeps punishing that rear left, it's likely in the final few laps of this race we could see that car sliding around. Oh no, we're going to see it right now already.
Absolutely, it's sliding around. I wonder on that previous lap, Matt, if Sam Bates actually got an opportunity to get back ahead of Gardner, who may have made a small mistake somewhere, because definitely we saw it looked like Gardner had to get back past Bates after he'd already made that past the lap earlier. So while this is happening, Josh Haynes is just out front with a big grin on his face. He's 3.2 seconds up the road already. I thought Gardner was going to sort of try and chase him down. We have talked about it again, most of over the rounds. As we go to a replay here, we'll come back to it. And, oh yeah, Crutch has just done it by himself. Oh, Mark. Unfortunately,
after all that good work yesterday.
Yeah, like just, man, he had the elbows up and trying to hold off Gardner and Jackson. It was freaky.
Well, I'm having a look at the times up on our screen, and Brad Gardner is pushing hard in the 22 at the moment. He has a race record at the moment at 1 minute .626. Now, Josh Haynes is only 1 minute .8, so he's only giving him a couple of tenths of a second at the moment. They've still got half of this race to get through. Josh Haynes is not going to want to let Brad Gardner get too close. They're managing that as Brad Gardner goes faster again, a 1 minute .42 compared to a Josh Haynes with 1 minute .55. So there is plenty to play for at the front, and Brad Gardner is trying to chase it down as Michael Coulter goes right on the inside here for a massive run on the inside of Robbie Farr, and they're going to go too wide into turn number 1. And who's going to stay on the outside? Will Coulter try it? Maybe come across for the crisscross at the moment. No, he's not going to be close enough. Or will he get the run up here as he slides the number 11 turn tipper's entry out of that corner, but Robbie Farr covers him off.
Coulter had some good mid-corner speed there. These two will be enjoying this. Robbie having a bit of a fight here, and Coulter actually battling with someone that he's not used to battling to. So these two are doing a really, really good job in 6th and 7th. Prosser up ahead of them. So Gardner with a new lap record again, a 1:00.4290. I reckon the Waltec boys have got on the radio to Haynes, because he's just gone 1:00.55. So he's picked up his pace. The gap is 2.3 seconds with about 5.5 laps left to go.
I'm going to say they're managing it at the moment. There was that discussion we had with them yesterday with Aaron Tebb down there in pit lane, where I said, how do you control the enthusiasm of a young 20-year-old? And he said, when you know, you let me know.
Haynes just went 1:00.46 400ths off Brad Gardner's just recent track record, and he's gone purple to the first sector. So you talk about race management. I think they've actually given Josh a little bit of a hurry up to say Gardner is coming. Haynes by 2.6 seconds as Prosser's running wide just ahead. I was about to say that Farr and Coulter actually weren't too far behind Aaron Prosser in that 5th position. As we go back to Haynes out in front, that gap is stabilised to 2.5 seconds. Gardner was going to him, and then I reckon the boys have got on the radio and said, Josh, just throw in a couple of quick ones here because Brad is charging. Just control it out in front, and that's what he's doing here right now. And the car looks nice and settled on the racetrack, as does Gardner's. Gardner's looks a lot better than it did early on in the race.
And now Gardner goes to our fastest first sector too. Now, this car on track, the 24 of Sam Bates, I'm pretty impressed with him at the moment. Gardner is super fast. He's gone a 1 minute .68, so he is only 2 tenths or 2.5 tenths off Gardner and Josh Haynes. And that is for someone who's only been behind the wheel of these cars a couple of times. That is mega for him.
Haynes goes 1:00.25. Gardner replies with a 1:00.22 to take the track record back off him. The gap is still 2.5 seconds.
Wow, and the battle continues on down here, and it's for 7th position between the 6th position between Farr and Coulter. And look, Coulter's looking for every bit of opportunity he can, but Aaron Prosser's not too far in front. We saw him go wide that previous lap as well, so they've managed to catch him up just a little bit, even though while they fight this out, it probably slows them down a bit, as I see what looked like might have been a little bit of tire smoke there.
Little lock up from Farry. He's trying real hard to hold off Coulter. Michael, with a lot more motor racing circuit experience, is able to carry his mid-corner speed a little bit better. Robbie's actually pretty good getting off at the exits, but just in some of the high speed stuff, he's just a little bit vulnerable to Coulter at the moment, but he's keeping the car on the racing line and definitely closing up here on Prosser. So this is 5th, 6th and 7th as Gardner goes 1:00.08. He's nearly into the 59s in race conditions.
He's slowly catching it. It's only a 1500th of a second that he'll catch Josh Haynes on that, who went a 1:00.21, so he's still got a 2.3 second lead out in front, and with only a few laps left remaining in this race, that will be enough. We're going to conserve tyres out of this one. Josh Haynes doesn't need to do anything silly, because at the start of the next race, if they finish in this order, he's going to be alongside of him either way.
It's going to be game on for race number 3, I'll tell you that for a fact. Absolutely categorically. Haynes purples the first sector again. So they're fast at the end of this run. The last race of the weekend's 20 laps. So I think both of them have probably set the cars to come up a little bit later. Gardner's didn't look as comfortable early, but certainly very, very fast here at the moment as Robbie Farr continues to hold off Coulter here for the 6th position.
Josh Haynes just needs to finish this lap in the lead. If we calculate the points, this could clinch his championship. He'd only have to finish the next 2 races to bring this home. He doesn't need to do anything silly. As long as he doesn't get a DNF for the rest of the weekend, he could finalise the championship here, and we've got a $5,000 ring up for grabs as well.
Gardner either locked a brake or dropped the wheel off, because there was a big cloud of either smoke from a brake lock-up or a cloud of dust. Someone goes off in the background. So Haynes has just done a 1:00.10 for a PB, and it's Danny Reedy off in the desert, in the Desert Palms Camaro. Has it done a right front? It's definitely done damage to the front splitter.
There's something on the right hand side. I was going to say, that looked like it was struggling to accelerate as well. So something's gone wrong for the Danny Reedy machine and the Desert Palms injury. That's a tough weekend for them, isn't it? They've had to do a lot of work, and we know we've been staying in similar accommodation to them, and the first night was pretty relaxed, and they've been busy ever since.
Yeah, character building weekend for Danny Reedy, but he's still in the box seat for the Rookie of the Year as we go to the final lap here at One Raceway for race 2 for the TA2s.
Well, the man of steel leading us at the moment in the number 37 Hertz Hog Mustang, and he's just got to get through this final bit of the lap to try and clinch this championship, put himself in an almost undefeatable position. It's not quite there as we see Mark Crutcher, who had that spin a little bit earlier, back in 8th position now and just getting the car circulating once again. I'm sure Jordan Cox has given him some great words. This battle's still going on for 6th position though, and Robbie Farr just making that Hi-Tec Allstars Camaro a little bit wider than it normally is. So he can hold out. Coulter has a dive down the inside. Here he goes, puts the bomb in. Does he get it done in the Terps Tippers entry though?
Can't get it cleared, can't get it cleared. What a great race between these two for pretty much the duration of the whole race.
Checkered flag is out, and Josh Haynes, the man of steel, will extend his lead in this championship out to 118 points over Brad Gardner, who's 2nd now in the championship. Sam Bates with an incredible 3rd place to get on the podium.
Take nothing away from Josh Haynes, and provisionally, I believe that is enough for him to tie up the championship. Still with 2 races left to go here at One Raceway for the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Car Series, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing.
Yeah, Josh Haynes now will just need to circulate and finish races. That's all he needs to do to clinch a championship. So
you think he's going to do that?
My mum will have tears in her eyes. The nails won't be existing. They will be bitten away at the moment. For us, though, it's Danny Reedy who came in 11th and number 5. Is it going to be another afternoon of rebuilding that car? It looked like the front right this time. We're here for the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series at this revamped One Raceway. Let's head down, though, to our pit lane for our winners with Matty Mack.
Well, Sam Bates, I know you do love a television interview, but that seemed like a pretty quiet race for you. The boys were battling it out at the front there. I suppose you were just conserving tyres?
Yeah. Well, I expected Brad to be held off a little bit longer by Crutcher, but he just got through straight away. Nothing I could do, and tried to get him back, but he's too fast.
And the boys, Mel's going to cover it in just a second, but that was a battle for lap record after lap record after lap record. At the end of the day, they might have torn up some tyres. You might have something for them in the races to come this afternoon.
Yeah, I had no idea about that, but yeah, once I knew I couldn't keep up, I just, conserved tyres and, see how we go.
What are we going to do for the next 2? What have you got up your sleeve?
Get a better start, get in front, hold the other guys off. We'll see what happens.
There you go, see what happens. Good luck for the rest of the afternoon. Over to you, Mel.
Brad Gardner, tough day yesterday, P2 in that one. You've set a new lap record. I don't know if that's going to make you smile at all.
Yeah, that's good to know that we had a quick car and all, but yeah, we don't need to be where we were, but the boys got the car fixed up and that's where we need to be. So we're starting alongside of Josh again, and hopefully the car's on. But yeah, can't thank the boys and Hi-Tec Oils enough for the fast car.
I saw you checking your tyre pressures over there and a bit of a chat about that. How's the tyre store looking for the next 2 races?
Yeah, no, that'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be good on tyres. So yeah, the car's handling really well. So can't wait.
It's not over yet.
Nah, absolutely, we've got to hang in there.
Josh Haynes, the Herzog Steel, man of steel. Yeah, that close. Can you taste it yet? That was a great win. And you guys were just throwing lap record for lap record, one after the other, but you're that close.
We are very close, but I've been saying all weekend we're not there yet. So we've still got 2 to go. Herzog Steel Mustang was really quick. Waltec's done an awesome job. Yeah, the car felt really good out there. So obviously it's a tyre game too. So we've got to make sure we're there on the last race. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Good start to the day.
And talk to me about your tyre bank. I know there's probably people listening from the other team, but what do you got in your? Have you got much in the bank now? Have you got much left?
We do. Like, we've been fortunate enough where I can be out the front and look after them. Yeah, but obviously Brad got up to the front pretty quickly there. So it's going to be all to play for in the last one. I'm looking forward to it.
It was a pretty exciting race behind you as well. Quite a bit of dirt being thrown up on the circuit. As the lead driver, you're a bit of Robinson Crusoe, first to arrive on that once it happens. Is that disconcerting?
Yeah, like, look, obviously being out the front, you get an advantage in a way. You literally can just put your head down and try and build a gap. So that's what I did. I did see a bit of dust behind me and all around the track. So yeah, it's still, obviously when someone goes off, a lot of dirt's been coming onto the track. So you've got to keep an eye out and obviously try not to pick up a puncture. But look, good start to the day. We've got 2 more to go and we'll see how we go.
Back to you, boys.
All right, up next we have the 20-lap finale for the TA2 muscle cars at One Raceway. Don't go away. We'll be back with more after this.
Welcome back to One Raceway as we're counting down to the final moments of the 2024 season of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. We've still got the TA2 muscle cars for what's going to be a thrilling 20-lap final race, as well as our Legend Cars Australia will decide their Australian title in their championship. Well, this is how the starting grid goes. Josh Haynes will start off the front with Sam Bates, who's been super impressive in his 2nd ever race meeting behind the wheel of the TA2 muscle car. Aaron Prosser up the 3rd with Hayden Jackson alongside. Then Michael Coulter and Mark Crutcher on the 3rd row, Zach Lachalpo and Robbie Farr on the 4th row, and Mark Spencer and Brad Gardner, who will now start off the 5th row. So Brad coming all the way from the rear. Hopefully we're going to see Danny Reedy back out there. Now let's change things around in the championship discussion here. It was all about, can Brad Gardner get up to Josh Haynes? Will he make it there? Well, that's been decided. Now let's talk about 2nd position. Now, Brad Gardner is leading Mark Crutcher by 23 points for 2nd, but we've seen how much he's had to try and push the limits of that vehicle. And remember, we've got limited tyres on these cars. Brad Gardner surely has run out of brand new tyres to throw at it. Let's see how he goes in this 4th and final race of the weekend. Championship decider, but 2nd place still up for grabs between Mark Crutcher and Brad Gardner. This race about to get underway as they come around turn number 13 and get themselves poised for a great rolling start in this 20-lap feature right at the end. Josh Haynes been super dominant. He's on the inside run over Sam Bates on the outside. Aaron Prosser in the 91 in 3rd position has been super fast as well. And here we go, we wait for the noise.
Danny Reedy definitely made the start.
Listen to a rumble down the straight as they turn into turn number 1. Prosser on the inside, kicks up a little bit of dirt, but he holds out Hayden Jackson. Mark Crutcher around the outside of Michael Coulter. And Brad Gardner looks like he is going to hang the 22 on the outside as well, further down.
Yeah, that was to the outside of Zach Lachalpo. Gardner using that higher line, trying to minimise the traffic issues down. Let's get through this first 3 or 4 corners and then we can all take a breath, which I think we've actually managed to do for the first time this weekend.
You'd think Josh Haynes, if he gets out in front, the man of steel might just start to look after his car there and try and move away from the pack with the speed he has showed. It's always taken a few laps for those tyres to really find the sweet spot when it comes to the temperature. Hayden Jackson said he was going to put a little bit of tyre pressure in.
No, into the side of Crutcher on the opening lap. Coulter's involved as well. Gardner gets through. Robbie Farr gets through. Prosser. Oh, wow. That's done a lot of damage to that race car, and I'm going to say Crutches possibly may not get back on either.
You're going to really have to take a replay of that, aren't we?
What set it off?
What unfolds. I'm not quite sure if he just unloaded himself, Prosser, or whether something else has happened in the background there, but it looks like Prosser might have just got a little bit loose on the outside, and unfortunately when you've got a collection of cars around you in such close proximity, it's really hard not to make contact with someone else. I'm not quite sure if Brad Gardner's car made it all the way through, but Mark Crutcher looks like he is moving. Oh, look at the damage.
Crutcher's definitely got heaps of damage. I thought that was a pretty big impact. Yeah, flat left front tyre. It's got into the bodywork, obviously, on that left-hand side. So I don't think Mark's real happy about it either.
Yeah, he's going to struggle to get it back in. Jordan Cox will be on the radio trying to calm him down at this point as they pull that in to decide whether they can tape that up and get him back out for a few laps. But we do have a safety car out on the track, though, because a lot of dirt also accumulated on that corner.
Yeah, through both of those corners, actually. So they probably do need to get the recovery crew out there and just get that swept up, because there's a lot of material on that part of the racetrack. Well, that takes your second position equation out of the situation there, Mr. Kavanagh.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Graham Cheney, who's now back in fourth position, not here this weekend with the sun racing up in the Gold Coast. So Paul Hadley not here either behind that, and Danny Reedy not within striking distance of that third position. So it's really going to set the finals of the championship. Let's have a look at the Hi-Tec Oils replay.
Oh, Prosser's dropped a wheel off. Prosser's dropped a wheel off, and it's just angled it back across the track into the side of Mark Crutcher, who knew nothing about that. I don't think... Coulter, I think, just went off track. I don't think he had any contact through it.
Same with Brad Gardner. I think he's gone to the right. They've really split around the Prosser 91 vehicle, and, well, unfortunately, excavation by day, but not really what you want to do on the weekend.
Well, he did the left front corner in race number 1. He's just done the right front corner in race number 4. So not a good end, not a good beginning, not a good end to the weekend for the expat Kiwi Aaron Prosser in the APC Mustang, with a lot of damage. And Mark Crutcher, likewise, he'll be dejected.
Yeah, that's not a good sign to see him getting out of the vehicle. That means their weekend is run and done at the moment. Maybe we can't take that bodywork up. I'm not quite sure either whether we're going to have some
there's more going on there.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more going on for him not to rejoin the race. Someone like Jordan Cox in his pits, if he thought he could have got that car back out there circulating, I'm sure they would have been working on that immediately. You can see the damage to the rim on the front as well. Not only is the tyre off, but also bent where the bead is. So that's going to have to be replaced. These guys, though, they're already race taping it up, and they look like they're going to throw a tyre on, and potentially Aaron Prosser might be able to get out and get these laps going once again. Let's head down and find out what's happening with Mark Crutcher.
A very, very dusty Mark Crutcher. We don't want to see you on this side of the fence in the middle of the race. What happened?
Oh, I think Aaron just crossed it all up going around turn 7, I think, there, and he tried to stay out of my way, just overcorrected, and I had nowhere to go, and just a bad finish to what's been a great year. But anyway, unlucky. You didn't mean it, I know. You'll feel bad.
Well, 2 good things to come out of it. You're still walking away with the Masters Championship.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to win that. I'm very proud of that. Yeah, and you know that's racing, isn't it?
And you've got plenty of time to fix the poor old car as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to Bathurst in 2 weeks. We're going to do Bathurst, and we're going to go on and do Adelaide as well. So we've still got a busy finish to the year. So yeah, anyway, look, still a great weekend. Thanks to the show. It's been a great year. Thanks to the TA2 family. And bad luck with that. That stuff happens.
We'll see you back up on the podium after this race anyway.
Beer o'clock.
Thank you, Mel. All right, we will be back with more from One Raceway after this. Welcome back to One Raceway in the final round of the 2024 Hi-Tec Oils Super Series.
Time to get a race restart. Race number 4 here for the TFH Hire TA2 muscle cars. And we are about to go green once again. Most of the cars are back on the field. We're only missing Mark Crutcher in the number 4. And as the lights are about to go out, all 8 cylinders are about to fire for the final time for the 2024 season of the TA2 muscle cars. Here we go. And have a look as they shoot down the inside. And that looks like it might be Just trying to see that LaChalpo, the 21, he's having a great start there. Sam's on the outside. Hayden Jackson goes a little bit wide. Prosser still down the inside, and the 91 might hold on, but it just flicks the rear end out a little bit. Maybe Jackson gets a run down the inside. Could have been a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact at that point. Sam Bates didn't get the run on Josh Haynes, who's leading us at the moment. LaChalpo now caught behind Aaron Prosser in the 21 Tempest Solutions entry. He's had a year off resting, but now he is right in the mix of things.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of side-by-side between Prosser and Jackson on that. And LaChalpo was sort of right there in the mix as well. As we go back on board with Robbie Farr, that's Coulter looking to the outside. A little bit of a concertina there. Coulter in behind LaChalpo. As we go back to the front, Haynes, Bates, Jackson with a great start. LaChalpo, Prosser, Coulter, Reedy. Reedy's got a pretty good start out of this deal in the 5, considering he started from rear of field.
You see Josh Haynes just starting to lead away. The Man of Steel already has 3 race wins this weekend. Could it be a perfect weekend for him? Take 4 wins from 4. Can he get a round win and a championship in a weekend? It'd be an incredible way to finish off the 2024 season. We'll have to wait and find out. In the meantime, Zach Bates still in second, and Hayden Jackson, well, he has been looking for a win on a dry track for quite some time in the number 81.
The only session he has in top was qualifying, because Gardner was in the 58s for qualifying, but he did top the top 8 shootout with the Kubota Pole Award and has won every race. So not quite perfect, but just about.
You're not going to get much better than that, I think, on a race weekend. And I think he's got 4 Kubota Pole Awards out of 6 weekends as well. So he's had an incredible season. Josh Haynes in the Herzog Steel, number 37. And I'm not quite sure whether he's really going to push the limits of this car going around. We'll wait and see as the track times starts coming. The lap times are 102, a 101 for Sam Bates. So now he is not going to let Josh Haynes get too far in front at this point. But I'm sure Haynes, he might have a little bit up his sleeve, because the celebrations are going to go into the night for the Haynes family.
How's Hayden Jackson? I think I heard an interview with Hayden beginning earlier on in the weekend where he said he desperately wanted to get a podium in the dry. He's done it this year in the wet. He's become known as a little bit of a rain master, but he really wants a podium in the dry. Zach LaChalpo's been really quick this weekend. He's had a couple of offs. He's been pretty speedy, so let's see if he can chase down Jackson. At the moment, the gap is about 1.2 seconds back there, and then you've got this battle group headed by Prosser, Coulter, Farr, and Reedy.
And I'm just having a look. Where is Brad Gartner, the 22? Seems to be an issue with that car as well. It is.
Where is Brad Gartner?
Yeah, it's falling off the back. I think there might be an issue with the 22 again after they had those steering issues. We did see him go to the right-hand side of the dirt. Has he come across another failure?
So Brad Gartner has dropped right back to the tail of the field. Crutcher the only one in the pits after that opening clash between himself and Prosser. So Gartner, yes. Where is Brad Gartner? What has happened to Brad Gartner? Because he is not in the top 10 cars. It's Cam Sendell further back, and behind him Mark Spencer in that brand new 44 Challenger. There's Gartner now by the looks of it. So he's still on track, but he's right back at the tail of the field. Gardner's last lap was a 104, so he's limping around with an issue. I'll keep an eye on the next lap, but he's continuing on, but he's 4 seconds off the lap pace that's been set by the likes of Haynes and Bates. Impressed here with Hayden Jackson. He's hanging here with Bates and really forcing the issue here. So the gap, Haynes to Bates, 1.47 seconds. Haynes with the fastest lap of the race at a 1:00.96. And Hayden Jackson is not making it easy here for Sam Bates.
This one's going to go on to the end of the race, isn't it? Hayden Jackson, how is he going for tyres? Sam Bates, we know, he just rolled out the throttle a little bit and conserved tyres after Josh Haynes got past him last time. And of course, Brad Gardner fighting it out at the front. He said, you know what, I didn't quite have their pace, so we've conserved tyres for this 4th and final race.
So Hayden Jackson was just, he was struggling with some understeer in the previous race. He said that's just one of the inherent natures of the Challenger body style. And here at one of the smaller tracks, it's not so aero efficient, but he's been struggling with understeer at some of the crucial points of the track. So they're trying to manage that. He was saying he's not actually hurt in the rear tyre. He's been trying some different lines up the top as well, along what we spoke about with Reedy and Farr and Gartner and Haynes. and trying to minimise loading up that left rear. So he's not actually having a rear problem, it's the front tyres that are causing issues with Hayden Jackson's Challenger.
Great battle for 5th position. Prosser still leading that one over Coulter far, and Reedy not too far behind. He's just dropped off a little bit in the Desert Palms entry.
Yeah, Reedy was right up behind Robbie Farr there a couple of laps ago, so might have made a small mistake, and he's just dropped off the back of that. Gartner's last lap was a 1:03, so he's 3 seconds slower a lap than the leaders. So he's definitely managing some sort of issue in the number 22 Hi-Tec Oils Camaro. Back on board with Farr. Looking pretty comfortable in there, very, very relaxed.
Just listening to him apply that throttle, aren't you, as he goes around. He's really got that throttle control down nicely. Doesn't want to overexcite the back tyres there and spin the wheels too much. There's still a little bit of dirt dragged across his track in certain corners there that can create a little bit of an issue for these drivers, especially coming out of turn number 6.
That's one thing I don't think Robbie's got too many problems with in the sprint car guys with throttle application, having to roll the throttle, which they're very, very used to with the sprint cars, especially when the tracks go very, very slick. Just watch that shot there, Matt, and yeah, Hayden Jackson definitely with some mid-corner understeer up through 12 and off 13. So he's quick everywhere else, but he's just struggling with a little bit of understeer in a couple of spots. And I think he's using up that front tyre a little bit more than he probably wants, trying to stay here with Sam Bates. He's got the podium spot right now, and he's got a big enough gap back to Lachalpo, who's not making much progress to try and get to them. That gap between Lachalpo and Jackson is about 3.9 seconds.
Now, if you're Josh Haynes, do you wait for a good lap where the car's feeling good and absolutely send it? 1 minute 0.676 that time, so he's slowly getting a little bit faster out there with his best lap. And is he going to try and put a 59 together in race pace? Because we haven't seen that yet.
Don't know if there's a 59 in there. Oh, I did say that about the Hypers. I didn't think there was a 54 in there, but lo and behold, one of the boys did, and actually really rocked the joint. So look, it just depends on the tyre state of Josh Haynes.
1 minute 30.
Okay, he's only 3/10 off Gartner's track record. So Gartner in race 2 went 1:00.0850. Okay.
I feel like he's winding it up the Herzog Steel Mustang. Have a look at Sam Bates. He is sliding the 24 out now, and Hayden Jackson is all over the back. This is a fantastic battle for 2nd position.
If he could get the lap record, then I'll go back to a perfect weekend.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Maybe they'll be in his ears now. He doesn't have much to lose. Oh, the nose. The Challenger's just going to get down the inside of Sam Bates. He has a look under brakes. He's going to get out wide, try and do the crisscross at the moment. Hayden Jackson exploring different parts of the track to try and get a move done on Sam Bates as we're halfway through this race.
Sam's got a little bit better drive down out of 8, the hairpin, the fishhook corner. Hayden's actually really, really strong in the faster sections of the track. So if he is battling with that understeer, a little bit of mid-corner there again, but it's not actually hurting the exit speed so much. So again, they're probably a little bit better than each other in a couple of different parts of the racetrack, as Haynes' last lap was a 1:00.40, so only a 10th off his best.
Yeah, just slowed down just under a 10th.
A 10th.
He's putting them back to back. A little bit of debris on the track again. We haven't seen through those qualifying sessions. And last lap we saw how much Brad was really punishing the car to make sure it gets around now. Having a look, he is on lap 9. So
that's where Hayden's actually... That's where Hayden's very, very strong. So the run from 6 down to 7 and 8, off of 6, Hayden's got very, very good drive down there. Oh, little lock up from Sam Bates, so he knows he's got a fight on his hand. Hayden actually opened the wheel up to stop getting into the back of him, and it actually cost him a few lengths. So Sam with a little lock up, so he's under pressure here, and if these two tie each other up, Lachalpo is actually coming to them, and he's just set a PB at a 1:00.87 on the last lap for the 21 Camaro.
Oh, 1 minute 0.18 for Josh Haynes. And sector 1 and 2 wasn't great. It's all in the 3rd sector. So if he can string those 3 together, maybe he's just backed off the tyre for a couple of sectors.
Come on, a 59.
Come on, a 59, Haynes. It brings us a perfect weekend. That's what we'd love to see, is this battle. The Robbie Farr's caught up in at the moment with Michael Coulter, with Danny Reedy behind, Prosser just in front.
We saw a 58 in qualifying from Brad Gartner, which was a stunning lap. And look, Josh did manage to get the pole in the top 8 shootout. But yeah, if there's a 59 in there, he is my new hero.
Michael Coulter just, there's a bit of a gap opened up between him and Aaron Prosser now for that 5th position as Robbie Fast still all over the back, and I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity to maybe go door to door unless Michael Coulter makes a small error there in the number 11 Terps tippers. Aaron Prosser just looks like he's calmed the car down a little bit now, maybe not pushing it too far. We've seen him just step the car out a little bit wide. He got pushed last time, he was saying. Maybe the car's too wide there. The sends it a little bit wide. Once you grab that dirt, they get very loose. But here we go. Haynes is on a mission. 2nd sector is the fastest of the race at 25.006.
That last lap, he did go faster at 1:00.131, so he's only 0.13 of cracking into the 59. So I'm thinking he's trying pretty hard to do it. The first sector on this lap wasn't as stout. He was about a 1/10.5 down. As we watch this battle, this ever-growing battle between Bates, Jackson, and a fast-closing Zach Lachalpo, who's about 2/10 quicker than these two on track right now. The gap back to Lachalpo's down to 1.6 seconds. It was out beyond 2.5. Looks pretty stable there at the moment, but Lachalpo is definitely closing the gap. Hayden Jackson looking so racy here in the dry conditions. Here's a replay. So this is Bates and Jackson. Oh, okay, there was a little bit of contact there. Jackson launched off the curbs. Bates was sort of having his own issues trying to get it turned in. And Bates has just worn a face full of Challenger in the back bumper of the pristine white Mustang. Prosser's been in the wars, but we know he's got car speed, and Gardner is on pit lane. So he was managing something there for a few laps. He had got down to a 102 as the hood comes off the Gardner Camaro, and that is not a good sign when the bonnet comes off. Has it dropped a cylinder?
The amount of dirt that has gone over the front of that car, can you tell me none of that has made it through the air intake at the front? That's potentially what you've
So
seen.
Max Vidot there was just, they were checking plug leads. I'd say it's dropped a cylinder.
Yeah, that's not a great finish to the weekend for Brett Gardner, but it's been one of those seasons. He's either having a fantastic weekend or he's having a terrible weekend.
Haynes has gone purple to the first sector. He's just rocked in a 16 flat. This is definitely not over. A little lock up this time from Hayden Jackson. Lachalpo continues to close the gap. It's down to 1.2 seconds. I'm watching the timing monitors because Haynes has gone purple to the 2nd sector.
And it's a 24 too.
Oh,
he's cracked the 25.
It's fast. There's a 59 coming up here. If he can get the 3rd sector right, there may be a 59 and a new lap record for Josh Haynes, which really would top a perfect weekend. As Jackson, there it is, 59.80 from Josh Haynes.
That's a race record, 59.8, an incredible 3rd sector, and 18.88. What a way to finish off his weekend at this point. We are 3/4 of the way through this 4th and final race in the last round of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series and the TA2 muscle cars, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing. Hayden Jackson looking for a 2nd place. Sam Bates is doing an incredible job to hold him out, and I reckon Josh Haynes might have just backed off a little bit there, judging by that 1st sector time. They said, mate, you've got it. Bring it on home.
Yeah, just keep it on the tarmac, keep it on the terra firma. This is definitely not over. Oh, Jackson with a little half look, just trying to spook Sam Bates into a mistake in that white 24 Mustang. Lachalpo now within a second, so there we could have a very, very close 3-way battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th coming up here very, very shortly. Prosser, Coulter, Farr, Reedy, 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and behind these guys, and they're about 15 seconds down the road.
Well, this battle is going to continue. Zach Lachalpo, though, is running out of laps to get onto the back of this, potentially impose himself on these two.
In a couple of different places, Hayden's definitely quicker, but Sam's sort of quick enough in the places where he needs to be. But they've got to be careful here because Lachalpo is definitely closing in. And what do we got? 4 laps to get to the end. Haynes has just started rolling out and trying to set those fast laps. He's got the track record. He's got a 12-second lead.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. He did roll out on the last lap. He still did a 1 minute .13. So he is still getting around in times that a lot of the drivers would be happy with, Josh Haynes. But I'm sure he knew. He got himself prepped up and wanted to get a race record while he was here this weekend. And like you say, apart from the initial qualifying session, he's taken a top 8 shootout win. He's taken a race win in the first 3 races, and it's looking like he is going to round it out with a perfect weekend of a race record as well as 4 from 4. So a round win, a championship win. It's all on for the Herzog Steel 37 this weekend.
Sam Bates is going to be getting sick of looking at the front of Hayden Jackson's Dodge Challenger in his mirrors, because Hayden has not been any further than about 2 car lengths away the entire race distance. He had a face full of him earlier on when he got into the back bumper of the white Mustang, but yeah, here comes Lachalpo, another little lockup. That was from Jackson. They're all trying hard, but here comes Zach.
Yeah, the Tempest Solutions 21 joining this fight for second position at the moment. Sam Bates, feel like he might not quite be as quick as Hayden Jackson, but very hard to overtake around here unless you've got a clear speed advantage at some point throughout the track. And it's really that slingshot onto the front straight that can line you up for an assault down into turn number 1.
Yeah, Sam, he's doing enough. He hasn't made a mistake, like run deep into 8 and just locked up the brakes to allow the opportunity for Hayden to get by. So unless Sam makes a mistake, Hayden's going to have to probably bomb him to do it. And if he does that, he runs the risk of ruining in his own race and a podium. But he's got to be mindful, and he'll be in the mirrors, that he knows that Zach Lachalpo's coming to him as well. That gap's just sort of stabilised now to 0.8, 0.9, so they're doing similar lap times. Lachalpo on the last lap actually was 4/10 quicker. So Jackson's just done a PB to the first sector on lap 18.
So I just was going to say, Josh Haynes has rolled out of it a bit now with 2 laps remaining. He's got a race record.
He's just gone purple.
He got purple in Sector 1. He's just missed out on a purple in Sector 2 by less than 1/10 of a second. And we know how strong he's been in this 3rd sector all weekend. Maybe we're looking at another 59 from him.
Watch this space. We're watching the timing monitors and trying to watch this battle, which is intriguing. Oh, 59.66. Josh Haynes, take a bow. Okay, now you're just showing
Final
off.
lap. Can we go all purples on the final lap?
Now you're just showing off, Josh Haynes. Like, way to rub it in. But in saying that, Bates and Jackson have just done PBs and behind him. So they're setting their fastest laps at the end of the race. So obviously the fuel loads are lightening up a little bit. But man, we're at the business end of the weekend. 4 races on the 6 Hoosier allocation for the weekend. And these guys are doing their fastest laps right at the end. I think Hainsey might have rolled out of this last one because the first split was a couple of tenths down on his best, but a 59.66 new lap record.
Still at 24.9 in the 2nd sector.
Top qualifier, yeah, he was only just a shade off in that. Top qualifier, 4 race wins. It doesn't get any more perfect than this.
And here we go, Josh Haynes, the man of steel, comes across for a perfect weekend. He's got 4 race wins from 4 starts. He's got himself a race record. He got the first ever TA2 muscle car win here at the brand new One Raceway, and he's taken out the championship for the 2024 season. Sam Bates comes in 2nd. Hayden Jackson only 0.4 of a second behind in 3rd place, and Zach Lachalpo fighting from 7th position to end up in 4th.
Gardner, unfortunately, the end of the championship didn't end up the way that he liked. So Josh Haynes taking the victory, 13.7 seconds ahead of Sam Bates, who's had an outstanding weekend, one of the best performers of the weekend for me in the TA2s. Hayden Jackson gets a podium in the dry conditions ahead of Zach Lachalpo, Aaron Prosser, Michael Coulter with another top 6, Robbie Farr with a straight race car, and 7th ahead of Danny Reedy. Danny Reedy will take out the Racetech Rookie of the Year award, and Mark Crutcher the Serco Masters Award, and 3rd overall in the championship. And here we go, some celebrations for Josh Haynes coming up here, hopefully. He's trying to figure out how to get the thing started. And the burnout celebrations from the man of steel, Josh Haynes. Probably picked the hardest part of the racetrack to do some donuts with the banking over there at turns 11, 12 and 13. But certainly the ability to enjoy it, and he's going to lay down some smoke in the Herzog Steel Mustang. Brad Gardner just offering his congratulations to Josh Haynes. Let's cross down to Matt Kavanagh, and he's got a few things to give away.
What a weekend for this young gun. He's been runner-up twice in this championship. He's got 4 race wins from 4 race starts this weekend. A lap record on the final 2 laps of the race as well. Give it up for the man of steel, the number 37 Hertz Hot Machine, Josh Haynes. Gets himself the winner's garland, the massive championship trophy, and the $5,000 championship ring. Give it up for our winners. Danny Reedy, Racetech Rookie of the Year. Mark Crutcher, our Serco Masters winner, and our outright 2024 TFH Hire Muscle Car Series champion, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing, Josh Haynes. Let's celebrate on the podium. Well, it's been an absolutely massive year at the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series. We thank all of our viewers, everybody who's come and watched us at the track, watched us on TV. We can't do it without all your support. It's been fantastic from all the racers who have joined us across the series as well. We can't wait to bring you all the excitement and entertainment of the TA2s and the rest of the race cars in 2025. And please watch all of our socials and join us for the next season of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series.